Okay, Monsignor, you are a religious leader. You have meetings with other bishops here in Iraq, and even with bishops from the Orthodox Church, and even with leaders from the Islam. What are the thoughts and their feelings of the Islam leaders related with ISIS?
Well, it varies. I mean, for them, ISIS, I mean, what they are doing, definitely everyone would say ISIS does not represent Islam. This is not the real Islam. This is not the way Islam thinks. This is not the way Islam behave. And from the other side, you have ISIS, Daesh, when they have all their videos and all of these, what we call, I mean, short movies, they always related to Islamic verses, Quranic verses, text from the Islamic history. I always say to the Islamic leaders, we need more strong statements. It's not enough condemnation. We need statements not just to say this is not real Islam, this is not what Islam is think about, this is damaging of Islam. We need statements like which has a strong apology from the victims of Daesh, which because ISIS is doing, Daesh is doing all of these crimes in the name of Islam, in the name of Allah. And we have, if you think and do believe that this is not real Islam, then you have to apologize to the victims for what they have, for what's been done in the name of Islam. If this apology would come, I'm sure this would teach the next generation not to do it again. The apology would really be a very important step towards teaching the next generation not to do it again. If this apology is not there, I think it's going to be repeated again.
Why do you think that they are not apologizing? Because it's not they are not feeling that it's not in the way they live. It's even not in their own religion.
Apology, it's needs education, needs formation. When you think and believe that you are the chosen nation of God, of Allah, and you are the best, and you are this kind of education and formation would prevent anyone from apologizing. But that's one of the tasks that Islam also should undertake, to teach its sons and daughters that there are horrible acts is being done in the name of Islam, and we have to not just to condemn it, but to refuse it once and for all, and to apologize. But this would need time. This would need really a commitment that something should be done. I think until now it's not been realized how important this step is.
But that's very important for the future, because even if the Daesh is finishing in Iraq, maybe in the future that can.
Yeah, that's what our people, exactly, you are right. That's what our people are saying. We had Qaeda, we had Taliban, we had Boko Haram, we have Jabhat al-Nusra, we have fanatics, and now we have ISIS, and tomorrow we will have another. Yes, it's right. It's right. It's just people. One of the issue that our people are saying that there is no future is this: that we've seen so many fanatic groups in the last 20 years, and there is no commitment. It's not about just Middle East. It's now Islam also is all over the world, and they also there is a commitment about the what we call the faith or the shape of the interreligious dialogue. I think should change. I mean, there are new issues coming about interreligious dialogue, And we have to face and challenge each of these big religion of issues concerning, are we building bridges or walls? Do we prevent in our way of practicing our religion? Are we opening doors and building bridges to reach the other, or we still have this idea of building castles and protecting ourselves and protecting our religion? You see, it's true always. The same measures, the same thoughts that makes you holy could make you an evil person. That's always true. Unless you open yourself to God and let God take you as you are, it's going to be a disaster. It's so easy to have a control over God and then go and do evil act. It's the same. I mean, if you remember Saint Paul, huh? he was a man, Pharisee, and he was looking to really be a holy man, but this looking to be a holy man led him to be a killer, a persecutor.
You say that some leaders from Islam said that the Daesh is not true Islam. But what do you think? Because the Islam asked their followers to do the jihad, to impose their own religion, to persecute the people that are not converted, etc. That's what Daesh is doing.
No. We are facing the Islamic scholars and Islamic imams. The imams, we are facing with them and putting some challenging questions and telling them this is part of the text. It's holy text. It's the text that you preach. So you have really to go back again and redefine these texts and tell the people what do you believe about these texts, and the way of explaining these texts to the public and to the young people. And I think there is a dilemma inside Islamic scholars about the way of presenting Islam, but still until now the fanatic voices is louder than a moderate voices. In fact, I cannot see there is a moderate voices. The moderate voices that we have heard so far are coming from people who do believe that there should be a separation between the state and religion. There are certain voices who are telling this.
But they are not speaking so louder.
No, unfortunately not.
Do you think it's possible moderate Islam?
I don't see it yet, but I think it's coming to happen.
When?
Who knows? I don't know. I hope it will happen not out because of war. No, because the importance of if Islam would like to survive, they have to change the way they talk, change the way they present, change the way that they understand the Quranic verses, the seerah. All of these issues should be reread in a new context.
Let's speak about Daesh. There are some analysts that says that the Daesh will go out from Iraq in the near future.
Hopefully.
Why do you think? Do you agree with
That's
that?
what they are saying. I don't. Until now, Daesh remained in the same positions as they were in last year. But we hope, we pray that at the end of this year something could happen.
What could happen? Why they could go out? Because of military pressure? Because of international?
Yeah. Everyone is talking about a military action.
International action?
International, with the Iraqi government, with the Nineveh forces. I mean, so many people are there. It's not just one unit. It's different units, many units.
And do you agree with that? Of international intervention?
Yeah, the Iraqi army, they cannot do it alone because they are so weak, so corrupted, unorganized, and they proven in Mosul and Ramadi they were unable. With the help of international community, they gained back again Ramadi, Tikrit, but they couldn't do it alone.
And what would happen after that? I'm not speaking on radical Islamic, but on the normal convivence with the neighbors, because most of the people that are refugees are not willing to return to Mosul because they have problems with their own neighbors.
Yeah, it would be a difficult beginning again. That's for sure. I mean, we are sure that the beginning would be somehow difficult, but to be honest, for certain people there is no choices. I mean, we have at least 3,000 families or more than 30,000 families. They have properties inside Mosul, houses, jobs. It's all been left there. Factories, small shops, small factories. So these are business which has been left for 2 years, and for certain Christians that's what they have, what they have left. I think we have to wait for a few months, probably a year, 2 years before we could see things is settling. We know that we are afraid of our neighbors, and the neighbors also after this 2 years they would be afraid of us. I mean, that's true. But I do believe that the Christians could set a good example of forgiveness and reconciliation.
But that's not the problem of the forgiveness, but of the normal. Because what they say is that they hate us in the past, and dies.
Yeah.
Of course, they have not re-educated them.
I would
So
imagine.
how can I return to my house? My house is not just they stole my house. They stole my life. They stole
I
my
know.
relations with my neighbors, my job, my future, my everything.
I would imagine that some people would go and resettle their issues, would sell their properties, and choose to live outside Mosul. There are already some people who had said this quite clearly, but they would be waiting for a moment that the value of their properties would worth to be sold in a sense.
What,
Yeah, I mean, we cannot ignore that this is the consequences of a war. And yeah, we have to accept this fact.
There are some people that think also that the purpose is to put out absolutely Christians from Iraq. So make the camp is allow for a war between the two parts of Islam. Do you think that's a good analysis?
Could be. Uh, you see, in this context, all scenarios are possible. How evil they are, all scenarios are possible. No one I mean, had this idea of ISIS 4 years ago, 3 years ago, even 2 days before ISIS entered Mosul. No one thought that the life of so many Christians and Yazidis will end up to be this way. No one. But today, if you say there are people who would think this way, I would say probably, because that's what we have seen. We have seen the worst scenario. So whatever would come, I would say probably.
Do you think that should be the role of the church in the near future?
Continue the help for the Christians so they could really live with dignity and stay around the area of Mosul and Nineveh plain, so their return would be, and if God's willing, if the return would be realized soon, it's very important to rebuild these villages as soon as possible, so to get life back again to these villages, because this would help people to stay. And to keep telling the story, to keep really putting pressure on all sides, stating that what happened to the Christians and Yazidis was a genocide. So at least justice could be done, could be realized. If this would be achieved, our people would not feel that they are forgotten or they pay the price of others' wars and disputes. Genocide now become an issue which would do justice for the Yazidis and Christians, to be written in the history that what happened was a genocide.
As you know, the European Parliament has just recognized the genocide here, and now we're fighting for the United Nations to do so. Does give you some hope?
Yeah, that's really give us a good, step towards realizing that what happened was not just condemned by all parties, but at the same time being written in the history that was a genocide, and justice have been done for the first time.
All this genocide has happened with the silence of international community that seems like was looking to other part. Do you think that this is changing somehow?
I think there is a change from last year. People are, at least in Europe and America, more willing to look to this experience in a deeper sense and think of a genocide. Some people would say it's more or less ethnic cleansing, but today people are looking for it in deeply and saying no. There is a killing of a life of 125,000 Christians, and it's a real killing because you are stealing their past, stealing their heritage, killing the future. And you have left them just beggars and with nothing, with just numbers, waiting for somebody to help. So yeah, it's a new insight. And there are certain stories of kidnapping, killing, raping. It's been now archived.
What do you think we could do as members of the Occidental world related with you?
Keep praying, keep putting pressure on the concerned parties and countries and government about what's happening to the Christians and Yazidis, telling the story, and of course with it trying to help the Christians to stay.
What would you say to our countries related with the people that are willing to go there? Do you think we should open the doors very clearly? Not all of them are refugees, but maybe some of them are dies inside. What's your opinion of the immigrant
You see,
crisis?
my role as a church leader here is to help my Christian community to live in a dignified way, providing them with your help and help of others, with a good education, health, shelter, food. These are the main tasks that I could do. I do believe that there are certain families, especially those who are in camps over the last 16 or 17 months, probably there are special cases. These are special cases which needs to be treated and welcomed in a better social and economic life. I would say probably, but it depends on them. They would like to go and on who is going to receive them. Third, I think Europe, with this waves of migrants, they have to be careful, because from what we saw, sometimes doesn't looks. There is a difference between those who are in Syria fighting and those who are on the borders. But I cannot just generalize. You have to check each case and find out what's the history behind all of these migrants.